Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our all-parish Celtic Celebration on YouTube. I am joining you virtually from our church. There are actually not people in the church behind me. I'm at my home. I'm glad that you are here with us. If you don't know me, my name is Father Rich Wiles, and I'm the rector of St. Andrew's. In non-COVID times, we would be having an all-parish big banquet bash tonight to celebrate our community and to thank God for the many blessings God has bestowed upon us as a parish. We are also getting closer to the conclusion of our comprehensive stewardship effort, Grateful and Growing, Being a Good Neighbor campaign that you have been hearing about over the past 8 weeks or so. So tonight we celebrate our wonderful parish, its leadership, and its people, and our heritage. This past Tuesday was our patronal feast, the feast of St. Andrew the Apostle. So we would like to honor him and our Celtic heritage. Here is a special icon of St. Andrew that was created just for this event by parishioner and artist Kester Limner. St. Andrew's Day is celebrated each year on the 30th of November, and it's Scotland's national holiday. St. Andrew is the patron saint of Scotland, as well as several other countries, including Barbados, Georgia, the Ukraine, Russia, Sicily, Greece, Cyprus, Romania, and then some smaller geographical areas that are not necessarily their own country. St. Andrew is the patron saint of fishermen. That makes sense. Fishmongers and rope makers, probably connected to his previous life as a fisher person. He's also the patron of textile workers, singers. Natalie, this one's for you. Miners, pregnant women, butchers, farm workers. He's also prayed to for protection against sore throats, along with Saint Blaise. He's also someone one prays to for protection against convulsions, protection against fever, and protection against whooping cough. Back in the day before vaccines, that was very important. So we honor St. Andrew today, and we thank him for his intercession to God on our behalf. Now we'll move into the musical section of our program. We are blessed by the fact that our parish administrator, Natalie Ingressano, is also a professional singer. Here is Natalie singing "By All Your Saints Still Striving," an appropriate hymn to kick off our celebration in honor of St. Andrew and our Celtic heritage. This is a traditional Celtic tune arranged by Henry Lebedinsky, the pianist, who also happens to be Mother Danae's husband. Natalie and Henry, the stage is yours. Thank you, Natalie and Henry, for that beautiful and prayerful hymn as we honor St. Andrew, our patron. Now it's time for some dancing. Today we will be featuring two forms of Celtic dance: Irish step dancing and Scottish Highland dancing. Because of historical circumstances, these two Celtic cultures are much more similar than the music and the dance traditions of the English or the Welsh or the Cornish. The music from these two traditions sounds very much alike, using instruments such as bagpipes, fiddles, whistles, and bodhrans, the small Celtic drum. And that drum either can be played with a mallet or with one's hand. The dance, as you will soon see, is very different. The main difference in the Celtic dances between the Irish and the Scotch are the arm positions. Scottish Highland dancers move with their hands on their hips or raised up in the air, almost like in a ballet type fashion. Irish step dancers keep their arms mostly at their sides unless they're dancing with others. Scottish dancers wear soft shoes, whereas Irish dancers wear soft or bulky hard shoes, depending upon the dance. We're going to begin tonight with some students from the Tara Dance Academy of Irish Dance performing a chaili, or a group dance. Please welcome the Tara Academy of Irish Dance. Thank you, Tara Academy of Irish Dance. And by the way, our own Mother Danae was a competitive Scottish Highland dancer as a youth. And now she does Irish step dancing as an adult, and she is a student at the Tara Academy. Let's move on to some Scottish Highland dancing. We are very fortunate to have an award-winning Scottish Highland dancer in our parish. Helen Mackey is a fourth grader at the Evergreen School. She and her twin brother Isaac are involved in our children's ministries. Their parents are Sandra and Craig. I'm sure you know them. Now, Isaac is not a dancer, but he is a competitive chess player and has won awards for that. So here is Helen performing a solo dance called Sean Trus, Gaelic for old trousers. This is a very popular dance in competitions. And here is our own Helen Mackey dancing Sean Trus. Thank you, Helen. Wow, we can see why you win dancing competitions. Thank you so much for sharing your gifts with us. We'll now move on to some more vocal music. Natalie will be singing for us again, and this time with Henry not playing the piano, but the bouzouki. The bouzouki is a lute-like instrument that is similar to a lower-pitched octave mandolin. We also have fiddler, but Brandon Vance joining the mix, and the hymn, Jesus Calls Us O'er the Tumult, is written by the Irish Anglican Cecil Frances Alexander, a woman poet from the mid-1800s. Her husband was the Anglican primate of Ireland. Cecil was a very saintly woman. She showed her concern for the disadvantaged people by traveling many miles each day to visit the sick and the poor, providing food, warm clothes, and medical supplies to them. She and her sister also founded a school for the deaf. Please welcome Natalie Ingrasano, Henry Lebedinsky, and Brandon Vance as they perform Jesus Calls Us O'er the Tumult, an appropriate song for our current times.
Jesus calls us o'er the tumult.
Thank you, Natalie, Henry, and Brandon. It was nice to end with that rousing rendition of The Flowers of Edinburgh. We will now have a brief travel log from our stewardship campaign chairs, Sharon Wilson and Van Bobbitt. They'll tell us about their visits to the island of Iona off the west coast of Scotland. Take it away, Sharon and Van.
Why Iona? Iona is a small island off the west coast of Scotland. During the early Middle Ages, it was a center of evangelism and learning for Celtic Christianity that flourished in the area we now know as the British Isles.
In the year 563, St. Columba fled Ireland. When he landed on Iona, he looked back to make sure that Ireland was out of sight before he settled there. Today, that hill is known as the Hill of Looking Back to Ireland.
He founded his community there, and for hundreds of years it was a center of Christian learning and sent missionaries to Scotland and as far as mainland Europe. As the Celtic community faded in the Middle Ages, a Benedictine community established itself there.
Today, what exists on Iona is a small village with tenant farmers, and Historic Environment Scotland owns the island and maintains the rebuilt Iona Abbey.
In 1998, I joined a women's pilgrimage to Iona.
In 2004, we both journeyed there, and these are some images we'd like to share with you.
Going to Iona is a journey. From Glasgow to Oban on the west coast of Scotland, then by boat to Mull, by bus across Mull, and then a short ferry ride to Iona.
You arrive by the village with Iona Abbey in the distance to your right.
The Abbey is not ancient, having been restored in the 20th century. The Iona community, an ecumenical organization based in Glasgow, provides religious services at the Abbey and runs a retreat center nearby.
There are two iconic Celtic crosses in front of the Abbey, as well as St. Columba's Shrine, which dates to about the 9th century. St. John's Cross is right by the Abbey. You can see the front of St. Columba's Shrine right behind it.
And St. Martin's Cross, which is about 1,000 years old, stands a little ways away. Here is the interior of the Abbey.
There is a beautiful cloister attached to the Abbey, with this sculpture in the center of it called Descent of the Spirit.
Not far away, the Episcopal Church of Scotland maintains the Bishop's House, where we attended several services. There are two hotels on Iona. Our group stayed in the Argyle Hotel. And here is the obligatory group picture set in the 12th century, ruins of the 12th century nunnery.
Walking around the island, which is about 3 miles long and 1.5 miles wide, you encounter lots of stone walls and fences. Lots of rocks and boulders. There are few trees, though, due to logging, grazing, wind, and thin soils, so the landscape is largely made up of heath and pasture land.
Here is our group on one of the beaches, hunting for cowrie shells. Sometimes you need to climb a stile to get where you must go.
On our later trip, the skies were gray, but the landscape was still rocky and full of sheep.
And on one pasture, you find the markers for golf holes. Golf does come to us from Scotland. And there were a lot of sheep. And some cattle, too.
Some of the place names on Iona are charming to our ears. The bay at the back of the ocean, the hill of looking back to Ireland, pasture of the geese, big hill of the strangers, and white strand of the monks.
At the north end of the island is a pretty beach, North Beach.
This is the road back to the village with the Isle of Mull in the background. We definitely recommend a trip to Iona, which is often referred to as the cradle of Scottish Christianity.
And it's a great place for a spiritual retreat, for hiking, for exploring Scottish history. And it's even said that Macbeth was buried here.
Thank you, Van and Sharon, for that very interesting presentation. I hope to get to Iona myself when I do my sabbatical in the next couple of years. Maybe we can have a parish pilgrimage to Iona and to Taizé. Who wants to go with me? Now, back to some dancing. Here is Helen Mackey again performing the Scottish Highland Fling, an old Scottish dance that warriors did after winning battles. Here is award-winning dancer and St. Andrew parishioner Helen Mackey. Thank you so much, Helen. That dance looks like a lot of fun, and we really appreciate you sharing your gifts with us. We are also blessed to benefit from the ministry of the Reverend Rebecca Kirkpatrick, our priest associate for children, youth, and families at St. Andrews. She and the youth leaders do such a wonderful job teaching our children, our youth, our teens, our young adults about the love of Jesus and the importance of community. Rebecca and Suzanne Daly offered the children their version of our stewardship education process over the past couple of months. The kids learned about the use of money, including saving, spending, and sharing. However, a big part of the campaign is its second half, being a good neighbor. Here are our children teaching us what it means to be a good neighbor.
St. Andrew's Children's Ministries, what it means to us to be a good neighbor. It means to help take care of our neighbors' pets, and to help feed those who are in need, to clean the trash and the litter out of our lakes, to give money and food to those in need, to include everyone in the games we play, to make meals for the unhoused and the sick, to climb trees and have fun with our neighbors, to rake leaves out of our storm drains, by inviting our friends over for a neighborhood party, by coming through for others, by being friendly, helpful, considerate, and understanding, and to smile at one another, checking in with our neighbors, sharing what we have, reaching out to help, being excited for others when they have successes. And above all, it's about being helpful. To be a good neighbor is one of life's richest joys.
Thanks, kids. And thank you, Reverend Rebecca and Suzanne, for the incredible role you played in our stewardship campaign. Our children are truly part of our current generation, and that is what makes St. Andrew's so special. We will now return to some Irish step dancing. Here are some students from the Tara Academy of Irish Dance showing us some solo dances with soft and hard shoes. Thank you again, Tara Academy of Irish Dance. I loved your video. It's amazing how creative we have all become during the pandemic, and we appreciate your contribution to our program today. St. Andrew's is such a wonderful community of faith. I feel very fortunate to be serving you as rector. We also have tremendous lay leaders who do so much regarding administration, finance, care of our buildings and grounds. And we have been engaged in our comprehensive stewardship effort for many months, grateful and growing, being a good neighbor. The campaign has two aspects: a one-year commitment to our annual budgetary needs, and a 3-year commitment to our capital campaign. And we are so fortunate to have benefited from the leadership of many people and even more volunteers. So many people from our parish have worked extremely hard to make our stewardship effort a success. We thank you for all of your efforts and your commitment to our parish. And so, let us just take a moment as we thank those who served on our capital campaign leadership team. Speaking of commitment, Mark Gargett has been serving as our Advance Commitments chairperson for the campaign. He has been seeking advance commitments from key donors, the vestry, campaign leadership, and staff. Mark has some exciting news to share with us today. Mark?
Hi, I'm Mark Gargett. In advance of the Grateful and Growing Being a Good Neighbor campaign, your vestry, the campaign committee, and a few other enthusiastic parishioners combined forces to give us a quick start. I'm pleased to tell you that this advanced commitment effort has yielded pledges of $330,000. That's above and beyond money given before the campaign began. That's a great outcome. That gets us 2/3 of the way to our threshold goal. It gets us 40% of the way to our challenge goal, and it gets us almost 1/3 of the way to our celebration goal. It's a great start.
Thank you, Mark, for that encouraging news. The commitment of the people from this parish is staggering at times. Thank you all for your support of our parish, its mission and ministries. We now have a brief interlude with a song from the Tara Academy of Irish Dance.
In the merry month of June, from me home I saw the left the goes of June. Nearly pug, I was looked to father do. Keep me up for saying that's the paddy's cure. Whenever he's drinking, laughing all the way on the bucky road. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt the hound, on it down the bucky road, all the way to Dublin, back for Bar.
As we get ready to close, we have one final message for you. Our Bishop Diocesan, Greg Rickel, has always been very supportive and encouraging of us at St. Andrews. He was very positive when we approached the board of directors for a loan just about a year ago. In fact, despite the pandemic and all of the challenges that we typically have around raising money, he urged us to dream big. I now introduce to you all the 8th Bishop of the Diocese of Olympia, Greg Rickel.
Greetings, St. Andrews, Seattle. I received the invitation to speak to you via video regarding your current campaign, Grateful and Growing, Being a Good Neighbor, as an honor and a great blessing. I know I speak for your fellow Diocese of Olympia community and certainly for myself in thanking you for your continued mission, ministry, and witness. The way you share Jesus Christ with your community through giving and incarnated action is a true inspiration. So thank you to all those who have taken an inventory of this great past and then given generously to make sure it can also continue to be your present and your future. If you haven't yet done that, I'd personally ask you to consider doing so. Most of all, St. Andrews, I want to congratulate you on the completion of this campaign and join you in the prayer and the hope that this investment you make now will serve to bring even more of God's beloved closer to the love and care of Jesus Christ. Thank you, St. Andrews, and blessings to all of you.
Thank you very much, Bishop Rickel, for your encouraging words and your inspirational message. We really do appreciate your support. And now, my dear ones, I turn to you and I request your support for our stewardship effort. You should have received a campaign booklet and a pledge card from us via U.S. mail and email. Please complete your pledge form and return it to us tomorrow in person during our morning services. We will be celebrating our Commitment Sunday tomorrow at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. with a festive coffee hour to follow. If you're unable to return the envelope, if you are unable to attend the service, you can just mail your form to the parish office using the return envelope that was provided. If you need us to resend anything to you, please let us know. I'm sure we'll be sending out some sort of follow-up reminders soon anyway. Our parish has benefited from the sacrifices of previous generations. We are now invited to do our part as the current generation of faithful followers of Jesus to invest in the generations that will follow us. We are grateful to God and the countless numbers of former St. Andrew's parishioners who gave so much. I thank you for your commitment to St. Andrew's, and I look forward to ministering with you as we move into the future together. May God bless you.